Tottenham Hotspur Football Club have confirmed that Thomas Frank's first signing as the new Spurs boss. It is Mathys Tel on a 6-year contract, and the French under-21 international was on target for his country over the weekend. The Daily Mail have just stated that Spurs are keeping tabs on Manchester United star Garnacho. Reports in Turkey are stating that Sonny is currently talking to former Spurs boss Jose Mourinho about a €30 million deal to Fenerbahçe. And Spurs target Bryan Mbeumo has been talking about the speculation of him going to Tottenham. He's also been talking about former boss Thomas Frank. He said he knows everything. He is so smart. Hi everyone, hope you're well. Chris Cowlin here. This is another episode of Tottenham News, where I began through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit the subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do the follow button and leave a review if you can. Now let's start by talking about some official news. Now on Sunday morning, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club confirmed Thomas Frank's first signing as the new Tottenham Hotspur boss, and it is Mathys Tel, who of course spent time on loan at Spurs last season. In the club statement, it said Tottenham Hotspur confirmed the permanent signing of Mathys Tel from FC Bayern. Mathys joined the club from the Bundesliga side FC Bayern Munich in February on loan until the end of the season, with an option to make the move permanent. We can confirm we have agreed a deal with Bayern that will see the France under-21 international sign a contract that will run until 2031, when his current loan deal ends on the 30th of June. He made his debut for the club as a sub against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup before marking his first start with a goal against Aston Villa in the Emirates FA Cup. His first Premier League strike came from the penalty spot in a 3-1 win against Southampton in April. The versatile forward made 20 appearances in all competitions last season, scoring 3 goals. Mathys Tel is currently representing France at the 2025 UEFA European Under-21 Championship alongside fellow Spurs teammate Wilson Odobert. Now, new signing Mathys Tel was on target and named player of the match after France staged a stunning comeback to beat Georgia in the UEFA Under-21 Championship on Saturday. The forward was joined by Wilson Odobert in the starting 11 as France led 1-0, then trailed 2-1, and then responded with goals in the 89th minute and in the 12th minute of added time to win the game 3-2 in Slovakia. Now, the Daily Mail have just reported that Manchester United star Garnacho, his priority is to stay in the Premier League once he leaves Manchester United. Chelsea, Aston Villa and Tottenham are all keeping tabs on the winger. Napoli are also interested in the Argentina international as they look to build on their title-winning campaign in the 2024-2025 season. Now, on Sunday, various reports came out from Turkey stating that Jose Mourinho has met with Tottenham Hotspur captain Heung-Min Son, and the Korean star's relations with Jose Mourinho are at a very advanced level, and he is open to going to Fenerbahçe. A transfer fee of around €30 million is requested due to agreements in the Far East. Reports in Turkey have then stated if the transfer issue is resolved, the talks will progress. Now, Tottenham Hotspur target and Brentford star Bryan Mbeumo has been talking to Sky Sports about all of the transfer speculation currently. He said, "It is a bit new for me, I would say. I think it can be the life of a footballer and you need to accept it. It has been one of my best seasons so far in the Premier League, and even collectively, I think we did play some very good games. I think we've been unlucky to chase the European spot, but I think it has been a fantastic season." Bryan Mbeumo has been talking about Thomas Frank and his former manager joining Tottenham Hotspur. He said, he has done so much for me. He literally trusted me from the start. I think he has developed the team so well. He developed me as a human and as a player as well. So I can only wish him all the best. And I'm sure he is going to do well. I think he knows everything. He is really smart. He knows where he wants to bring the team, how he wants to play. I think he's been fantastic for Brentford. I think he's going to have some time to adapt, obviously, with Champions League games at Tottenham, more expectations, but I'm sure he's going to do well. He knows how to talk to people, he knows how to build a good group, and that is why we have been playing so well. Now, my thoughts on everything in this episode. Let's start by talking about the deal for Mathys Tel, 6-year contract from FC Bayern Munich, Thomas Frank's first signing as the new Tottenham Hotspur boss. Now, of course, he is very young. He's still got a lot to learn, but I feel like there is something definitely there in Mathys Tel, a very lively player, very mature player, both on and off the pitch. And I feel like he is a player that wants to learn, wants to really impress. And, he should be a fan's favourite going forward. He came in Feb, in the January transfer window, but it went through to February. And, he scored 3 goals in 20 appearances for us last season. I feel like there's a lot to come from him. But like I've always said, in these transfer windows, particularly this one, I feel like we need experienced players in through the door, 100%. But there is a lot about Tel that I like. So as long as we get those experienced players through the door as well, this one is definitely one for the future. And nice to see him getting a goal for the under-21s as well, and being named player of the match on Saturday. Garnacho being linked to Tottenham. I feel like this one is going to be, Garnacho is definitely going to be a name being linked with all kinds of Premier League clubs, particularly those who have got new managers or are starting new projects, going in different directions, because Garnacho, wants to leave Manchester United. A lot is going to change at Manchester United, I feel. They're going to have players coming in. They're going to have a lot of players going out the door. I've no doubt that Spurs scouts are looking at everybody. Of course, it is very, very natural for the Spurs scouting team to collect data, look at all the players, look at who is available, look who's coming up, opportunities, etc., etc. Can I see this one happening? Probably not. In terms of wages and in terms of transfer fees, I probably, I wouldn't be at all surprised if Spurs have even explored a loan deal for Garnacho, because that's the type of thing that we would probably do. But I can't see this one happening, if I'm completely honest. Reports in Turkey about Heung-Min Son. This one is going to be an interesting one, because I feel like Son is going to probably be linked with every single team around Europe. Whoever needs a winger, whoever needs that creative player in the final third, all across Europe, until Son actually comes out and says, I'm staying at Spurs, or we actually get a notification, news coming out that Son is leaving. I think he's going to be linked with all European teams all over, every league. 30 million euros, it's a weird one, because I recorded a fan show with Craig Dearman on Sunday evening, and most of the fans that we spoke to said that they would like to see Son leave the football club. I completely disagree, actually. I would like to see Son stay. He is still one of Tottenham's best players, regardless of what people say about him, regardless of what people say about losing a yard of pace, etc., etc. He can still find that moment. He's still got it in him, and he's still got so much to give. And of course, he is our captain. He's just lifted a trophy at Spurs. You can go one of two ways, can't you? You can taste that success and think, I want it again for next season at Tottenham under another new manager, because I get it, he's played under so many different managers at Spurs. Or he can go out on a high thinking, right, I've done it. I've lifted a trophy at Tottenham. Do I want to start a new project? It depends what way he wants to go, but I feel like it should be his decision. And of course, it's going to be very awkward for the football club as well, because the amount of revenue that the Korean fans bring to Tottenham Hotspur, that is a lot. And of course, we are playing in Seoul, South Korea, at the end of July against Newcastle. So if Son was to leave, it would have to be after that, in my opinion. But that's going to be an interesting one. I think that we will definitely see a lot of reports, a lot of speculation about Son going to all types of different clubs around Europe. 100%. Bryan Mbeumo talking about the speculation and talking about Thomas Frank. Again, I say it again in this episode. Mbeumo come out and said he knows everything. He is so smart. This is all I keep hearing, all I keep reading, all I keep watching on various YouTube videos, etc. Interviews, press conferences. Everyone speaks so highly about Thomas Frank. I'm quite excited, and I feel really intrigued about what is going to happen in this season. I know we've got 2.5 months of the transfer window. I would just love to see Thomas Frank get some really quality, good quality players through the door before the season starts. And I feel like Tottenham will have a really, really good squad for the opening weekend of the Premier League season. But we've got to back the manager. We've got to deliver in this transfer window, particularly when the club have said in that statement, when they sacked Ange Postecoglou, we want to be fighting on all fronts. If we want to be fighting on all fronts, the manager definitely needs to get the players in, and we need that depth. That depth is so important when you're playing every other Wednesday, and then, of course, at the weekend. It took it out of a lot of these players playing in the Europa League, and the Champions League. The quality is so much better, so much higher, and it's going to take it out of those players. So we definitely need the depth. We need depth in a lot of areas, in my opinion. It'd be interesting to see what players do head out the door. I know a lot of journalists are stating that it's highly likely that players like Richarlison and Basuma will head out the door. Some journalists are saying that Manus Solomon is going to come back. Thomas Frank is going to be looking at all of these players. I feel like that's very natural anyway, but I'm sure there might be 1 or 2 or even 3 players that Thomas Frank will probably feel like, actually, no, you can head out the door if it means that, I can then, spend this money to, buy the players in that I want for my certain systems. And the great thing about Thomas Frank, which I've said before, is he doesn't just play that one way. He is very, very versatile and tactically aware in playing so many different formations. The flexibility, that was the word I was looking for, flexibility. So he's very, very flexible on the formation. But of course, I've also seen an interview where Thomas Frank has come out and said, I will always work with the players, so they will fit. I will make them fit into my system. So he's very good at that. He's very good in working with players, different systems. So I feel excited, but you've got to be backing the manager. I'm going to say that on every single episode. You've got to be backing the manager and giving him the best tools possible for us to be fighting on all fronts for next season. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. Have a great week. Stay safe and well. Come on, you Spurs.